Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to the No DQ live recap of Monday Night Raw for February 17th, 2020, as the road to Super Showdown, the road to Elimination Chamber, and the road to WrestleMania continue. Shout out to everybody in the chat room for participating and interacting tonight, and thank you to everyone watching, whether it's live or on demand. Let's go ahead and get started. This week's Raw was in Washington. That's what it said on the graphic. It was actually Everett, Washington, but since Everett is not Seattle, it's a suburb about 30 minutes from downtown Seattle, WWE felt it was not an important enough city to name during the broadcast. We had the introduction with the pyro. Randy Orton came out and a recap was shown from last week where Randy Orton gave the concerto to Matt Hardy. There were tons of camera cuts. We had Randy Orton in the ring. It would cut to the fans, back to Orton, back to the fans. Did this quite a bit. And then Randy talked about how he was supposed to face Matt in a no-holds-barred match. However, that is not going to happen because, according to Randy, Matt has not been cleared. Matt ended up coming out. He was wearing a neck brace, and he did confirm that the doctors would not clear him to compete. He wants to know what the hell is up with Randy Orton, and he came there to fight. He wants to fight Randy Orton, and he said that, like Edge, he has grit, and Matt Hardy will not die. Randy said that Matt should have said goodbye last week, and Randy said that nobody will understand why he did what he did to Edge. And he loves Edge. He respects Edge. And he loves Edge like a brother. Randy then said he's sorry. He's truly sorry. He walked away. He left the ring. But then Matt Hardy went for a chair. And then we had Randy Orton get in the ring. Matt swung the chair. He missed. Randy Orton took him out, hit the RKO, and the fans started chanting one more time, which I thought was silly. Randy was getting so much heat in this segment, and then those fans start chanting one more time, and I'm like, come on now. Give me a break. But anyways, Randy was going to do another concerto in the ring to Matt, but then decided not to. He left the ring, and then he thought of something even more sinister. He took Matt to the outside of the ring. He got the steel steps. He put Matt on the steps and then delivered not one, but two concertos to poor Matt Hardy, who sold it like he was completely dead. Hell of a segment here, and one would think this is the end for Matt Hardy in WWE, although we thought that last week, and then he was brought back this week. But yeah, he was absolutely destroyed by the Viper in this segment. I mean, just completely wiped out. Really fun stuff here, though. Now, I do have a few super chats here. Virtue eats my ass out with a $1 super chat, but it was deleted by Christopher Mays, so I have no idea what that person said. Ken Terminated by Google with a $5 super chat says, when Randy Orton was going after Matt Hardy, am I the only one expecting Jeff or Edge to attack from behind? By the way, if Orton brought back the punt, it might get a pop. I was thinking for a moment maybe Jeff would show up. I feel like it's too soon for Edge to come out. I think Edge will come out closer to WrestleMania. I thought it for a split second, but then I was like, nah, probably not Jeff. And I think it's best for Jeff to not get involved until he's 100% cleared to wrestle again. And who knows if WWE will even bring him back at this point. I know Jeff has some more time on his contract, but he's also hurt. I don't know what WWE is going to do with Jeff, but I feel like it's probably best to just keep him away until it's time to bring him back. And if WWE decides to keep using him. That remains to be seen, though. And yeah, I think the punt would get a big pop, and maybe that's why WWE has decided to not bring that move back. My man, Hank Schrader on the shitter, has finally graced us again in the chat room. Hank says, with a $5 super chat, says, "Hey Aaron, haven't watched in a while, but I don't think I'm missing anything. I still want to support No DQ. Tell Caitlin and Sexy Aaron I said hi." I will let them know, and I feel like they would be very happy that you acknowledge them. But thank you for that, Hank, and welcome back. Hopefully you met WWE and not my video. All right, so let's move on here to the next segment. Raw was off to a good start. We had Aleister Black versus Eric Rowan. Interesting match here, considering that Rowan has been facing enhancement guys, and really Aleister Black has for a while too. Pretty solid match between these two. And then we had Aleister hit the Black Mass, which knocked Rowan against the ropes. And then Black had to hit a second one to knock out Rowan and score the pinfall. So they did protect Rowan a little bit in defeat, since it took 2 Black Masses to beat him. Now the question is, will we get a rematch next week? Are they going to keep having these guys wrestle over and over? That is what I'm wondering. And where does Rowan go from here? There was really no follow-up with the what's inside the cage storyline, what's under the sheet. And at this point, I really don't care. So it's like, whatever. We had Charlotte Flair come out for an interview. She showed the footage from NXT where she attacked Rhea Ripley, and she wanted to know who put it in Rhea's head that Rhea could just come to Raw and challenge her. Charlotte talked about how she trained in NXT and grinded her way and helped build the NXT brand, her class, put it on the map. And she said that the new generation of NXT, including Rhea Ripley, they are entitled and they feel that they are something special. And she talked about how pride comes before the fall. And then Charlotte said she is going to humble Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania and F her in the ass. No, she didn't say that last part. That was an Iron Sheik reference. She did say humble, though, which is why I brought up the Sheik. Charlotte's going to humble Rhea at WrestleMania, and then she finished her promo by saying, everyone is the next big thing until they are not. Pretty good promo here from Charlotte. I definitely liked the humble line because it gave me that flashback to the Iron Sheik talking about effing people in the ass and making them humble. Next up, we had a 24/7 title match. That's right, 24/7 title just being defended now in random matches. Riddick Moss defending his prestigious championship against Mojo Rawley and R-Truth. R-Truth did a 5-knuckle shuffle, paying tribute to his childhood hero, John Cena. But then after that, Moss took advantage of the situation and pinned Rawley to retain the championship. Rawley went after Truth after the match in anger, but Truth got the best of him, hit the scissors kick, and R-Truth's music played. And again, does anybody really care about this? This is like Eric Rowan and what's under the sheet. Don't really care anymore. We had the participants for the Women's Elimination Chamber match announced, and I really don't understand the point of this match. We all know it's going to be Shayna Baszler. That's what the build-up is leading towards, Becky Lynch versus Shayna. So why even bother with this match? I guess technically Shayna has to earn her title match, although she was, the longest reigning NXT Women's Champion, so it's not like she accomplished anything, right? I just feel like they probably would have been better off doing the SmackDown women in the chamber, so it would at least be a little bit more unpredictable, and also maybe do something to build up the SmackDown Championship match. Like Becky and Shayna, do they really need the Elimination Chamber to help build up their match? No. But Bayley, on the other hand, I think she needs a solid opponent, and they could have done something with the Elimination Chamber for the SmackDown ladies. So I'm not a big fan of this one, and I think it's too predictable, and I think it would have been better with the SmackDown women. Darren Gregg says, Aaron, honestly, if you didn't do videos, I wouldn't know what was happening on WWE TV. Well, thank you, Darren, for watching and supporting. I really do appreciate it. And I do get that a lot from people. I get a lot of comments from people telling me that they watch my videos to stay informed about what's going on with WWE programming. The game is on 100 with a $5 super chat. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. He says, why is WWE having the women's Elimination Chamber match with 5 other women and Shayna? We all know Shayna will win. Shayna should eliminate all 5 to make her a beast. Would not shock me if that's what happens. I could definitely see Shayna dominating that match. Maybe Ruby will get one win. Maybe she'll eliminate Liv Morgan, and then the rest of the eliminations will be via Shayna Baszler. But yeah, I could see Shayna definitely dominating that match. We had Drew McIntyre come out for a promo. He said that he wanted to do something special, so he had all the fans in the arena point to the WrestleMania sign with him, and then he talked about burning Suplex City to the ground. Actually, he said demolishing Suplex City to the ground. We had Paul Heyman come out, and he teased Brock Lesnar coming out, but Brock did not come out. Everett, Washington, not exactly an A-list city, so I guess they are not worthy of an appearance from the Beast. Drew said that Brock will be crying after he beats Brock and takes his WWE Championship at WrestleMania. Heyman responded by saying that he admires Drew. He thinks Drew is a talented guy, but there's another man who doesn't think so highly of Drew. And that's when we had MVP come out. MVP talked about having a beef with Drew. He thought they were friends, and he said he's going to whoop Drew's ass, and then gave him a cheap shot, which led to a match. Now, I could have sworn that a couple weeks ago MVP announced his retirement, but guess he's still going to wrestle from time to time. Basically, a squash match. MVP got a little bit of offense, but then Drew just went to town. He ripped off the nose strip and then did the 3-2-1 before hitting the Claymore and picking up the victory in a relatively short match. And I think MVP posted a photo on social media doing producing backstage. So that's going to be his main role moving forward. But I guess he'll come out for a match every now and then, maybe do a VIP lounge. And I still think he should do something as far as being a manager goes, but we'll see. We had a recap of the Becky Lynch and Shayna Baszler segment from last week where Shayna bit Becky in the neck. Becky came out for a promo and she had a bag of money, and she said that this money was for WWE to fine her because she is going to get some serious payback on Shayna Baszler. And she said, consider this a down payment on the violence. She said that what Shayna did was like what an animal does when they go for the neck to weaken their prey before killing them. Then we had Shayna Baszler pop up on the big screen. And interestingly enough, the NXT logo popped up. So I guess technically Shayna is still an NXT superstar, part of the NXT roster. We'll see how long that lasts. And Shayna talked about how she has the background in cage fighting and the Rumble is going to be easy peasy. And then she finished her promo by saying at WrestleMania, she is going to tear the, and I quote, living shit out of Becky Lynch. Yes, she did say the S word, and it was uncensored. This is what we call the AEW effect, folks. Funny how for all these years WWE would not use profanity, and if they did, they would bleep it out. Then Chris Jericho and other guys start using profanity, and now all of a sudden we got profanity on Monday Night Raw. I'm not complaining, but I just find it interesting that after AEW starts doing it, WWE is doing it, and we're seeing blood, we're seeing profanity. Hey, again, it's good for the business. Competition is good for the business because WWE is opening up a little bit, pushing the envelope. I like it. And Kayfabe Candy Ass says, "Ow, my freaking ears." I'm not sure if it was Rod or Todd that said that, but I know it was one of them. Christopher Mace says, "Oh my God, someone said shit, South Park parody." Oh yeah, I remember that episode too, with the episode where they said shit, like, how many times was it? I'm not even sure which one it was. Or how many it was. We had a backstage promo with Lana, Zelina Vega, Bobby Lashley, and Angel Garza to hype up the tag team match, which was Rusev and Humberto versus Bobby Lashley and Angel Garza. According to Christopher Mace, it was 161 times on South Park. And by the way, what's up with people on Twitter being upset about South Park? Like, really? After all this time, after 20 years, people finally are getting outraged about it? Weird. The things people do for attention. Anyways, let's move on from that. We had the tag team match, and Rusev hit the Mashka kick on Lashley, who got sent off the apron, but then Garza, who was the legal man, rolled up Rusev to score the pinfall victory. Another L for Rusev. What does it mean? Is he on his way out? Who knows? But they have really cooled off Rusev, that's for sure. Again, Rusev attacked Garza after the match, sore loser, and that was that. Not much else to say about it. Don't know what's going on with Rusev, but man, they really blew this storyline with him. Like, he should have gotten revenge on Lana and Lashley, you know? Instead, he's been booked like a complete goof the last month or two. We had Natalia versus Kyra Sane, and footage was shown from a couple weeks ago when Asuka kicked Natalia in the eye, and Natalia posted the photo on social media of her eye all swelled up. Before the match, the Kabuki Warriors cut a promo. They talked in Spanish for a bit, but then they started talking in English, talking about how they don't care about Natalia being mad. Asuka vowed to beat Natalia inside the Elimination Chamber. And then during the match, Asuka got on the apron, interfered, and when Natalia was distracted, Kyra Sane knocked her to the outside of the ring. And then when the referee was distracted with Kyrie, Asuka gave Natalia a kick to the face, which the referee did not see. And that led to a count out. I think I said Spanish by mistake. I meant Japanese, obviously. I'm tired, guys. It's 11:24 at night. Remember, back in the day, I used to do this Pacific Coast time, and that was quite a bit easier. This is like way past my bedtime now, so I apologize for screwing that up. That was a pretty bad botch. Power Packers 90 says that's racist with the tongue sticking out face. Cheeseburgification says they were speaking Spanish and Japanese. Pretty much. And next segment we had was quite the interesting one. We had the Monday Night Messiah sermon from Seth Rollins. Murphy did the introduction, talking about Rollins being the man that single-handedly saved Raw. Rollins came down, and like the Pope, he was shaking hands with the fans and the young children at ringside. And he said that he did not come up with the idea of doing a sermon, but the powers that be were the ones that came up with it. And he feels that the term sermon is appropriate. He said, "Brothers and sisters, we are here to move forward with this vision." Crowd started chanting, "You suck." Rollins asked them for a little bit of respect. He said that phase 1 is done, and now the work begins on phase 2, and it's for the greater good. And he said if you stand in the way of progress, but before he could finish his sentence, the War Raiders came out, and then they fought off AOP. Rollins retreated to the stage, and that's when Kevin Owens came from behind and hit the Kevin Owens stunner to the Monday Night Messiah. A lot of people hated this segment. Christopher May says it was horrible, and Colin Andrews said this was cringeworthy. Unpopular opinion, but I liked it. I was entertained by it. Rollins was getting some good heat. Crowd chanting, "You suck," not once but twice. So, and then that one guy, the Monday Night Moron sign in the crowd. I like it. Rollins is getting some good heat. So I'm sorry, guys. I enjoy the Monday Night Messiah. I know some people are offended by it, but you know what? WWE hasn't shied away from spoofing religion in segments. Like there was the whole Vince McMahon God thing. There was Steve Austin being crucified by The Undertaker. So, Ken terminated by Google. I like it. Is it Aaron Rift or Barney? Barney from The Simpsons. So yeah, I didn't mind this segment. I mean, I'm not a religious person, so I guess it would be harder for me to be offended by it. But I like the heel heat that Rollins is getting, and I think he's doing well in the role. All right, moving on here. Seth Rollins was backstage, and he was upset. He said that his guys are the only guys that give him the respect. And he said his disciples are going to take care of Kevin Owens and the War Raiders in the main event of Monday Night Raw. So we downgraded. Last week we had an 8-man tag team match, and this week we downgraded to a 6-man tag team match. We had the OC, the Mother Lovers, along with AJ Styles, who is back, coming out for a promo. Crowd chanted, "Welcome back." AJ bragged about himself. He said, how could there be a WrestleMania season without him? They all pointed to the sign. AJ called himself the new Mr. WrestleMania, said he's the greatest superstar on any roster from any era, and he vowed to win the gauntlet match at Super Showdown. And then he said, who's next? Is it going to be Roman Reigns? Is it going to be Brock Lesnar? Is it going to be The Undertaker? Is it going to be Shawn Michaels? Is it going to be Hulk Hogan? The NWO? Then they did the Too Sweet after saying NWO. Ricochet then came out, so I guess Ricochet is next. AJ joked about Ricochet and said that nobody believes he's ever going to be WWE champion. Ricochet talked about how not only did he earn his opportunity to beat Brock, but he is going to do what people think is the impossible. OC, of course, laughed at this, and then Ricochet challenged AJ to a match. However, Carl Anderson was like that this is beneath AJ Styles, and Anderson accepted the challenge on AJ's behalf. So I guess AJ's maybe not 100% yet. They just wanted to bring him back to TV to promote the event. Otherwise, why not just do AJ versus Ricochet? But we had the match. Ricochet, of course, picked up the victory. No surprise here. And it was fine. It was a fine match. Colin Andrews says Ricochet will never be WWE champion. Well, if he wins the title at Super Showdown, I'm giving away 5 shirts. So there you go. We had Liv Morgan interviewed backstage, and she talked about last week when Ruby Riott returned and betrayed her trust. She said it's not going to break her. She will, in fact, eliminate Ruby Riott from the chamber match and she will go on to get a title match at WrestleMania. And then we had our 6-man main event, which was okay, but I found myself not really very invested in this match. Again, you go from an 8-man match to a 6-man match, basically a repeat of last week with 2 less people. It's like, eh. Owens hit the stunner to Murphy, but then Rollins came in to stop the pin, which caused a disqualification. Owens was laid out, and it was a 4-on-1 attack. Rollins got on the mic and said that this would happen for getting in the way of progress and not seeing his vision. He then said that he was going to crucify Owens, which I wanted to see, actually, just to witness people being offended. But before anything could happen, we had the Street Profits come out to make the save. Street Profits cleaned house. Montez Ford and Ivar did dueling frog splashes, and Montez Ford did the Ultimate Warrior rope shaking with the crazy eyes. Good stuff here. You know, keep those guys away from doing the cringe promos and just let them come out there and do some cool shit in the ring. Seems to be the right way to go with Street Profits, so thumbs up for that. Rollins escaped, and that was the end of Monday Night Raw. No Samoa Joe. What happened to Joe? Did he get kidnapped by ninjas again? I mean, he just disappeared. So he's back, he disappears, he's back, he disappears. I don't know what's up with Joe. But that was my thought process during this. I'm like, where's Joe? It's like every time he's not on the screen, everybody's like, where's Joe? You know, just like Poochie back on The Simpsons. All right, so let's go ahead and do the letter grade for Raw. Some really good stuff on the show, in particular, the opening segment with Randy Orton and Matt Hardy. Really good angle there. But a lot of stuff that I thought was, not too exciting. I did like the Rollins stuff, and I thought the Shayna promo was pretty good. We got the S-bomb dropped. I'm going to give it a B-, which is less than last week, but I still thought Raw was pretty solid. Overall, I thought it was a good show. People's Wrestling Channel gives it a B. OG85 with a D-. Wow. Mr. Anderson with a C. Kev Dog with a C+. Zach with a C+. JSpin401 with a B-. Calvin Bowman with a B. GameIsOn100 with a B-. Jeremy Dorset with a B+, Michael Wayne with a C+, CC Drink with a C, Matt Helms with a B-, and Shady Snake with a D-. Wow. So it seems to be a mixed bag for Raw. I'm seeing some B's, some C's, and even some D's here for Raw. Ace and his Familiar Vlogs with a B as well. Darren Gregg says, you said it was good. Okay, I'm tuning in right now. No sarcasm. We'll definitely watch the Orange stuff. I thought that was a really strong segment. Watch the Shayna Becky segment, and I guess check out the. It was a very promo heavy Raw, more angles than matches, which you guys know I like that stuff. So maybe that's why I rated a little bit higher than some of the people in the chat room. All right, guys. On that note, I wanted to remind everyone that tomorrow night, we will be doing the No DQ Review Live, a special Tuesday night edition, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific time. Check it out tomorrow night. Myself, Virtue, hopefully Robbie Vice, and either Big G or TGS, not sure, maybe Sun Goshiku, but we'll have a 4-person panel. Check it out, and if you like this video, please spread the word, subscribe, tell a friend, and have a great night, everybody. Take care. I'll see you guys next time.